The Bible has some really interesting stories and quotes about fathers and sons and their strained relationships. I guess you're just gonna run out of here and not even discuss this problem between you and your father. Judge not, and you will not be judged. Condemn not, and you will not be condemned. That's what God says. Hey man, no matter where you go, your problems are gonna be there with you. Why don't you let me be your sounding board? I'll just sit here and listen. I won't even say anything. Maybe you can leave here with a little bit of peace. There's no judgment. I'll just be here sitting and listening.
You know, it takes many incidents to build a wall between two men, brick by brick. Sometimes you're not aware of building of the wall, and sometimes you are. Though not always strong enough or willing enough to kick it down, it starts very early, as it did with my father. Very early. And it becomes a pattern that is hard to break until the wall is made of sound brick, motor, as strong as any my father ever built. Time would not level it. You know, only death. I don't know if my father ever remembered one such incident. He never spoke of it to me. But I often thought it was the emotional cornerstone of the wall between us. He rushed out the door and down to the schoolyard the first game he had ever come to. I hadn't reminded my father of the game. I was afraid he would show up and embarrass me. 12 years old and ashamed of my own man. Ashamed of his dialect, his dirty overalls, his bruised fingers with the fingernails lined with dirt. I mean, his teeth yellow as old ivy. I mean, most of all, his lunch pail, that symbol of a working man. No, I wanted a doctor for a father. You know, a lawyer. At least a fireman. Not a carpenter. I wasn't good enough.
Tell me about the game.
I do remember stepping at the bat. The game was tied. It was last of the ninth with no one on base. And there I saw him sitting on the bench along third base. He waved and grinned and gestured to the man beside him, but I pretended not to notice him. I turned to face the pitcher. And angry at myself, I swung hard on that first pitch. And there was a hollow crack, and the ball, it shot low over the shortstop's head for a double. Our next batter bunted, and I made third. He was only a few feet away now. My father, but I still refused to acknowledge him. Instead, I turned to face this catcher, pretending concentration. And when the next pitch bounced between the catcher's legs and home the screen, I slid home and won that game. And there he was, jumping up and down, and showing his teeth, excited as hell. Yeah. Oh, and as the crowd broke up and our team stampled out of that schoolyard, cleats clicking, scraping blue sparks on the sidewalk, I looked back once through the wire fence, and saw my father still sitting there on the now empty bench, alone. Slumped over a little, staring at the cinders between his feet. Just staring. I don't know how long he stayed there till. Maybe until dark. But I do know that he never again came down to see me play. At home that night, he never mentioned the game or him being there. He just went to bed. Usually early.
Take care of yourself.